This could all go horribly wrong at any minute.
And the rubber chicken says...
Well, they say it's not the heat, it's the humidity. But why do they say that? What difference does it make? It's still too hot, okay? But what do I know? I'm just a rubber chicken. Well, it's not important, the heat, humidity. I know it's a good argument on your part, but look, I realize you want to take another week off, so do I. And maybe we will. Maybe we will. Okay, now stop it, all right? It's a good thing you're not going outside because it is hell on wheels out there. Okay, we've got to get on, my friend, with Rantcast number 93 entitled Cpac Sucks. Okay? It sucks. Yes, I'm talking about the Conservative Political Action Conference. Yes, sirree. Cpac. The reason I say it sucks is because their speaker was the delightful, always effervescent, known for his humorous takes on life, unbelievably, the one of the hugest douchebags on the planet at this point, the president of Hungary, Orbán. Yes, Orbán. It sounds like actually a bad type of a cookie. I'll have 2 Orbáns and a side of fries. Son of a bitch. He's a major autocrat, okay? Which is another word for douchebag, is another word for dickhead, is another word for... Can we stop this goddamn nonsense? You invite him to the United States to talk to you about what? And then he gets up there and gives a speech that I heard just bits of this morning, which was enough to send me... Why weren't they all in goddamn Klan outfits? Racist, misogynist, every level of, we say that a marriage should be between a man and a woman. Stop it already with your crap, okay? We're in the 21st century. We're not going back to that goddamn time. I don't care. People are just about had it, okay? There's no reason for this bullshit. We have moved on. And because it freaks you the fuck out, because God knows why, a fairy tale you read, whatever it is, how do you invite him to speak to you? What does he have to impart? It would be one thing to invite him to speak to you to try to figure out what it is that you don't want to be. And they applauded it. Every piece of bullshit that came out of his mouth. All of it. Come on. This has got to stop. Okay? All right, but we can certainly, the pros and cons and whatever you want to discuss, nuance of how much power someone whose leadership should have, someone who's the leader should have. Okay? But this, you invite him to speak to you. I get it, you have an American-born audience. You got enough of them here now. Invite DeSantis to speak, invite Trump to speak. You don't need somebody coming from over there who is basically, run roughshod over his people. It's unbelievable. And this is Hungary. Hungary, which is one of the first places I learned about the whole concept of freedom because they were the Hungarian freedom fighters. He referred to himself as one. It's horrific. I can't imagine being a Hungarian living through this, okay? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're loving it. I don't think so. It's just beyond fuck belief. And then we come up with at least they seem to be moving towards some sort of agreement about we're going to have a little taxing again of corporations. That'll be fun in this new bill. God, I don't even know what it's called again. It's certainly not Build Back Better. The worst name of a bill ever. And a concept of Build Back. What does that mean? It's like going backwards. Build back better. Build back better. Well, there was nothing forward about that sentence at all. And it's the kind of clinical insanity that comes out of the mouth of Democrats that leaves everybody going, what? But they've made a move. after sitting around playing footsie with Manchin, and then we had to listen to Kristen Sinema, who came up with she wants to get rid of this thing that'll basically only affect very, very wealthy people, and that's really good that she undermined another way to kind of like hold them in check. Okay, well, certainly their finances, because they really they need a couple more antiques on their yachts. I can't. It just wherever you turn, you just go, really? How do you deal with this? What do you do? How can I affect it? Well, who knows? I certainly don't. So, you joined the Cub Scouts when you were a kid to learn how to affect the world, just in your small way. What can you do in your neighborhood? And now, whoo, you got to go. You got to give people probably a drug in order to get them back to reality. And I'm talking about the Democrats now. But it's good. They're moving ahead on some money going into climate, dealing with the climate change. And I'm not going to sit here and go through the whole bill. I haven't got time and I haven't got the energy. And I'm sure I'll be talking about it again next week, because I'm going to skip it now, because I had a pretty good little bit of time off there, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time yakking away here. I hope, because I got places to go and people to see. We're going to be. I went to a really spectacular wedding. Spectacular, first off, because it was really, you felt like these people were going to be married for quite a long time, as opposed to many of the weddings I went in my youth, where you went, whew, this will go 2 years, if lucky. But at least the snacks are good. This was beyond this. The snacks, maybe it was the food that colored my perception of it. It was the daughter of a good friend of mine, and it's two good friends. I've known for quite some time. He's my oldest friend. I've known him since he was 7. Ed and Ava, and I've known Ed since he was 7, and it was their daughter. And she married someone from India, but who's been here in the States for, I think, he's first generation. And I went to, I'd never been to an Indian wedding, and it is off the hook. It was, they are not fucking around, okay? They are not kidding. This was big time fun zone. Woo! We're going to keep going, and we're going to feed you, and then we're going to keep going. We're going to feed you some more. We're going to drink some more. We're going to feed you some more. We're going to feed, eat, drink. Wow. This thing called the Sangeet, the first night, which I guess is just, hey, we're going to celebrate. Maybe I guess they do this in case everybody gets really drunk and somehow there's a breakdown between the bride and the groom. They may argue, but they may go off and sleep with other people and go, nope, we're not going to do this, because that was 6-7 hours long. And usually I hear, and that was phenomenal, and in a beautiful setting out in Los Angeles and in Malibu, and which is gorgeous. But you kept looking around thinking, holy fuck, they better get some water here fast, because it is looks like kindling everywhere, which is truly maddening. So going back, it's a good thing there was a climate bill. Well, not enough money, of course, but at least it's a start. And who knows if it'll help, if we've already kind of, but I'm digressing from the fun. The fun, yes, the fun. And usually after you have the Sangeet, you then have a break. You need a day off. But they couldn't really do it. So, because you're getting people out there for a while, this is a weekend. Then we went, the next day was the wedding, a Hindu wedding ceremony followed by the Jewish ceremony. And it was quite wonderful. Julia and Gotham got married, and once again, rev it up, because it is party fuck time. Big dancing the night before, and big dancing the night of. And then, of course, in my minor kind of, dealing with the PTSD of the pandemic, going, this is a super spreader. I'm not getting into that mix of people who they're dancing and sweating, and people were, and it was it was wonderful to see people having a good time from safe social distance. It really was. And I would dance a little by myself, just off to the back. But it was really a splendid time. And I got to see my friend's other other daughter, and two daughters and son, and it was and some of the grandchildren, which I hadn't seen, and I hadn't seen them all in quite some time, and it was really nice to do that. That's one of that's been was one of the reasons it's nice that I do have off, because when the others are married, I was working, and I've been pissed about not being able to work because it leaves me just here in the privacy of my own cable access studio, and I'd rather be out there amongst you. But this was really made that time special. Was to be able to spend it with them. So fuck you. It was good to be with them, and it really was. I enjoyed every minute of it. And I probably gained 8 pounds, and I'd been losing weight. But they had a dinner the first night, just to give you a sense of it. There was more food than I'd ever seen in quite some time at any celebration. It was excellent. And really great Indian food, which is tough to find sometimes because they just the restaurants in my neighborhood just don't come up to snuff. And when it comes to that, and this was completely unbelievable. And then they said, wait, calm down. These are only the appetizers. There's a buffet, and I just I think I blew up by like a tick, just big blown up tick by the end of that evening, and followed by the next day another not as much food, which was kind of good. We kind of tapered off because you're not going to see that much food every day, and it's a good thing. I really did enjoy myself immensely. And that's one of the reasons I took last week off. And I'm taking this one off a bit too, because I'm going to be going up for some golf lessons, and that'll really turn things around. And yes, I do continue to play golf. And the reason I do is because it takes my mind out of this insanity that we live through day after day after day. And I seem to, and there's a potential of me actually having an effect on something. And that something is hitting a ball. And that ball represents all of every dimple in that ball represents just a teeny tiny part of the major shitstorm we're going through. And when I do it and I hit it right, I've gotten the ball to where it should be, and things will change. And then I go up and duff it 2 feet, and I go, fuck, nope, that's the way it's going to be. But it gives me a way out of it. And that's why I play the game. And that's really it. So I don't have to think about the stuff. I don't I find otherwise my brain, just kind of gravitates toward it and spends too much time thinking about it and wondering what can be done and really how I can make it funny. And I didn't know really how to make the president of Hungary funny. Nope. Nor Cpac. And whatever DeSantis did this week by he's getting rid of the attorney general, the duly elected attorney general of Tampa Bay in Florida, because he didn't like something that he said. Really extraordinary times. So it was nice to be at that wedding. And then, of course, I was disturbed by the fact, too, that out of nowhere, the Orioles, who had started to come up and were playing 500 ball. You still can't see them here in New York City. They don't show them. They're rarely shown. They just talk about it in the background. Hey, they're getting better this year. What? Well, the Orioles are getting better. What? And that's what you hear. Just somebody whispering that they really were coming on, and they'd won 12 games, 10, 12, 12, a ton of games in a row. And then, of course, they trade Trey Mancini, who's the heart of the team. You don't know who he is. He's just who'd been through cancer. Beat it and played great ball last year, played great ball this year. And really the last of this group that had kind of given the Orioles a run, and they sent him to Houston. And as much as I'm glad that he got that break to be able to play for a team that's going for the championship, it's still Houston, and they're cheaters. And cheater, cheater, pumpkin eater, I think, as many people have said when I was 8. But good for him. And then Jorge Lopez, I believe that's Jorge. I think that's it. He was traded too. Great reliever, spectacular. And I'm supposed to believe all of this makes sense. When they're at least, can't you let them make a run and then trade them? So you can pick up, they better be right. They better have picked up 2 pitchers for him. And they better be able to keep the run going, those fucks. Because enough is enough. Okay? You got a team, and the Oriole, I think the Oriole fans, all 20 of us who are left, nobody shows up at the park, and that's the reason why. And there's no explanation, none. It's disgusting. And these are the guys who put together the team that is now the Houston Astros. So we'll see. But it's taken them fucking way too long. And whenever they have somebody who could be a part of it, they just go, oh, yeah, let's pick up 6 guys, and maybe a couple of tubs of tuna that we can get from Walmart. And that's the way things are right now. And that's the way things are going. And I'm going to be heading out because it's time for me to go. I do hope you're enjoying your summer because we are really being cheated out of it. It really, really are. Okay? Everything is just fucking one thing after a fucking another. But Kansas said, hey, do you want to get rid of abortion completely? No, fuck you. The good people of Kansas said, fuck you. And now Indiana, of course, is taking up the banner. And the people are just saying stuff. The stuff that's coming out of people's mouths about it is just astonishing. And we'll be talking about that and many other things when I return next week. And maybe I won't talk about that. But boy, oh boy, it is time for me to go. And as I try to, get out there and have a little fun, we all should have a little fun. So that when the fall comes and then it gets darker and darker, we can remember, oh yeah, remember that? We had that great barbecue and I had that great Indian wedding. And boy, oh boy, was that food good. So please take care of each other, take care of yourselves. Here's to the end of the variant, which of course I'm continue to run from. And I hope you can escape it and that you get to feel as good as you want to feel. Hopefully you do. Hopefully you're feeling better and better each day. It's been tough and we're still stumbling, but I think we'll make it. But that's because I'm leaving. I want to leave it on an up note. So I am. And I know that wedding and the time that I had on the road up at Jamestown at the National Comedy Center in Chautauqua, with watching Carl Reiner's exhibit come to fruition there. Those are the things that'll keep me in good stead. Especially as you see my upcoming schedule where I'm wandering in February through the tundra. Oh, I truly am. But I'll see you then and I'll see you next week, okay? And I'll be back in a moment to tell you what we're introducing because this week is, I don't really know. But it's been a pleasure spending time with you and I hope you've enjoyed my madness as much as I enjoy yours. Always a pleasure. Before I go, I just wanted to give a shout out to my friend and colleague for quite a while, Jon Stewart, for the work that he's put in and the time, the energy, the effort, the love and the care to do everything he could to be sure that those who were truly affected, our military, by the burn pits and the damage they caused would get their recompense and get taken care of and all of the things that I have talked about when it comes to the military. Just do whatever they need, you get it to them. And John made sure of it, and God bless him for it. He really did the right thing, and it made a difference. And and I'm glad he's a friend. It was extraordinary to watch, and we just have to do that. Enough is enough. That fucking Senate and the bullshit that goes on there. Fuck you. You stop paying lip service, okay? And making shit up to impede the. Okay, I wanted to just give the 2 cents about Jon, and also the rants that you're going to hear are, I think, quite terrific. They're the ones that didn't make it in during the course of my running around the country, doing the rants due after the show, and those continue to pile up. I will continue to read those, and there's some splendid ones here, I think, that you'll enjoy. I sure hope so, because people put a lot into them, and I certainly try to give them their due. And I will be reading more and more and more of them as before I hit the road again. So we'll have a stockpile of them for you, and I will try to get as many as I can. And I really appreciate what you put down on paper or into the ether, or so to speak. Please take care of each other again, okay? I'll say it again and again and again. It's important. We're all we have in this vale of tears. So long. After years of fine print contracts and getting ripped off by big wireless providers, if we've learned anything, it's that there's always a catch. So when I first heard that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless starting at just $15 a month, I thought, what's the catch? But after learning about their service, it all made sense. There isn't one. Mint Mobile's secret sauce is that they're the first company to sell wireless service online only. They cut out the cost of retail stores and pass those sweet savings directly to you. It can save you a ton of money monthly compared to the big wireless providers, and you could be saving hundreds of dollars a year. Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month, giving you the best rate whether you're buying one plan or a family plan of 2 lines or more. All plans come with unlimited talk and text, as well as high-speed data, delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. You can use any phone on your Mint Mobile plan, and it allows you to keep the same phone number and contacts. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to www.mintmobile.com/Lewis. That's mintmobile.com/Lewis. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Lewis. Today's show is sponsored by Microdose Gummies. By this point, you've probably heard about the rising trend in THC gummies, and you might have been curious as to what benefits you could get from them. Microdose Gummies deliver perfect entry-level doses of THC that help you feel just the right amount of good. People have taken advantage of all kinds of the therapeutics that they offer, such as helping to reduce anxiety, recovering from a workout, alleviating joint pain, or just wanting to get a good night's sleep. They taste and feel amazing. You can use them to get into the zone for whatever you might need to do, whether it's doing something creative or winding down from a long day. They are 10 out of 10. Microdose gummies are available nationwide, and you can learn more about them and microdosing THC by visiting microdosegummies.com and use code LEWIS to get free shipping and 30% off your first order. Once again, that's microdosegummies.com and use the code LEWIS. This epic comes to us from David, and I'm not going to tell you his last name because he takes us behind the curtain at Amazon, and I don't want him getting in trouble because Amazon can give people trouble. Just check out how well they handle having the concept of unions thrown in their direction. So, a short look at my first 3 months as an Amazon employee. Things learned, observations made, and questions raised. Let me begin by saying, should this fall into the hands of those who wish to do me harm by presenting these reflections to my superiors, or since it seems Amazon has the ability to reach into everything, let it be known that Amazon is a wonderful place to work, and Jeff Bezos is the kindest, bravest, warmest, most wonderful human being I've ever known in my life. So, to begin with, everything is made in China. If it's edible, spices from India and elsewhere excluded, wearable, or usable in any manner whatsoever, chances are it was made in China. Let's start where most things do: sex. There is some freaky deaky, kinky things going on in the bedrooms across America. I have packed enough lube in my short tenure to fill a tanker truck, so much so that if I desired to, I could be dragged buck naked behind said truck from Florida to the Canadian border without so much as sustaining a scratch simply by squirting the stuff in front of me as we went along. Keeping with the sex theme, there are some XXXL women out there who really seem to like their lingerie. It seems that just about every item of lingerie which crosses my desk is for a full-figured woman, or possibly a normal-sized man. All I can say is, you go, girl, or guy. Speaking of XXL, some guys out there really have an unrealistic opinion of their junk. Every single box of condoms I've packed has been XXL or supersized. Oh, and I've noticed that the line ribbed for her pleasure is now changed to ribbed for your partner's pleasure. About a month ago, I filled an order for 37 personal massagers. Now, I'm sure there's a perfectly legitimate explanation for this, such as the recipient runs an adult store, is hosting a Tupperware-like party, but where's the fun in leaving it at that? My first thought was the person has way too much time on their hands. My second was that if this person is going through these things so quickly, maybe they should invest in a gas-powered one with a Kickstarter. And my third one was, that's one hell of a party going on there. The other day, I sent out an anime book with the title Dick Fight Island. Unfortunately, it was sealed in plastic, so I couldn't get a good look. Don't judge. You know you would have wanted to sneak a peek inside, too. The scary part about the book is that it was volume 1. I guess whatever issue they were fighting about wasn't resolved and required a rematch. But come on, does the world really need Dick Fight Island Volume 2? Isn't the world already stupid enough? My guess is yes, seeing how this is not a toy or something similar is printed on every piece of plastic wrapping I see. I mean, if you have to look at a piece of plastic wrap, then look down at your 2-year-old child and wonder if you should give it to them to play with, then that child probably needs to be taken from you. And speaking of taking kids away from their parents, since when has it been okay to give an infant or toddler melatonin to sleep? Huh? I was surprised to learn that there seems to be quite a number of people who fancy themselves witches. I packed a number of books on the subject, everything from their history to how to cast spells to the essentials for a witch's garden. I was also surprised at the frequency with which sheet music, piano, and guitar practice lessons and guitar strings come across my desk. I imagine brick and mortar music stores are becoming scarce. I even once filled an order for a couple of books of harp music. So culture may not be completely dead in America. Or maybe it was just for a harpo impersonator. Nicely put there, David. So when did elderberry supplements become a thing? Oh, they are. Every day I send off at least a dozen bottles of it in some form or another. Last I knew of elderberry, it was being used by a couple of old broads to make wine to knock off lonely, homeless men in Brooklyn. I've seen some interesting yard warning signs in my time. Funny ones such as warning, guard tortoise on duty. Kind of funny. Warning, occupant doesn't play well with liberals. Oh, downright stupid. Warning, liberals will be shot on sight. The last makes me wonder how one can tell the difference visually between a liberal and a Trump supporter, since most of his supporters look like 60s ultra liberal hippies. By the way, Trump paraphernalia is flying out the door, usually accompanied by firearm accessories. Just saying. Just two more items, almost done. People have placed some orders containing very disparate items. One order consisted of a socket wrench set, drill bits, and XXL fishnet stockings. Another had a couple of Barbie dolls and assorted other toys and a ball gag. Someone ordered a Bible and a book on sexy female anime characters, which I can't really articulate why, but this just seems contradictory. And finally, there are a ton of tools for women's faces. An assumption, I know, but all the packaging is focused on women. So there's rolling pin like devices, mini vibrators, chin straps, vibrating and non vibrating types, and 24 karat gold eye patches. I assume all these devices are simply designed to increase circulation. So wouldn't a good old fashioned slap achieve the same result? My wife informed me, this was not an option. David, thank you for sharing that, and I hope they don't find you. They may have snuck on while I was just reading there and looked over my shoulder, and I didn't see them. I appreciate that, David, and enjoyed the reference to God. What's that? Arsenic and old lace. Wow, who knew? Thank you. Nick Norston is a bit irritated about something and wants to share it with us. Hey, Lewis, something's pissing me off. It's probably not very funny and you might not like it, but you're always saying to send in rants no matter what they are, so fuck it. Here goes. I'm fucking sick and fucking tired of being shamed over the phrase, thank you for your service, in regards to our military veterans. I basically had to stop saying it because I'm always getting dirty looks or snide comments. Not from the vets, mind you, but from assholes who overheard me say it. I hear, oh, that's so condescending, or that's not good enough, or that's what people say so they can feel better about not doing something real. I've even heard that it's the same as spitting in the face of a vet because what it really means is better than you than me. Well, fuck you. Don't fucking tell me what I mean when I say something. That's fucking bullshit. You're not in my head, so don't tell me my own intentions, you fucking prick. When I say that to someone, I fucking mean it. I'm saying to that person, you're a better human being than I am. You stand up for the freedoms I take for granted. You run into battle when I would shit my britches and run away like one of those fucking desert geckos at the first sign of a firefight. Thank you for doing that because I sure as fuck can't. So yeah, better you, a strong human being willing to make the sacrifice and stand in the way of unrelenting evil than me, a fucking selfish coward with the bravery of a garden gnome. I don't even know what that means. I'm just fucking pissed. It was well put. So to all our servicemen and women standing up for our country's interests and freedoms around the world and here at home, thank you for your service. Better you than me. Thanks for listening. Nick Norston. Thank you, Nick. I've yelled about people. I've yelled about and it's mostly politicians that I yell about saying, this thank you for your service from them. But I think you put that well, and I was glad to read it. Thanks a lot. From Dana Gillen. Yelling about a state. Thanks for this, Dana. What the fuck is up with Ohio? Did they just name this place to torture fifth graders? There's already an Iowa and Idaho. What the hell do we need an Ohio for? It's too similar. Did someone lose at Scrabble when they only had fucking vowels left? What were the alternative names? Iwu, Una, Ahu? And how unoriginal is the capital city's name? Columbus, as a man, is historically problematic. But more than that, There's already a Columbia, South Carolina. Why the fuck do we need a Columbus, Ohio, too? The fucking guy didn't even discover the damn country. He thought he landed in India, for fuck's sake, because apparently all brown people look the same to this racist prick. He wasn't the brightest star in the sky, if you know what I mean. How could these unoriginal Neanderthals in Ohio not think of any other interesting or important historical figures to name their capital city after? And if you think Ohio is a rich cultural heritage with interesting places to see, you'd be fucking wrong. There's nothing there. If your official rock song is Hang On Sloopy, you need to rethink your definition of the word fun. What do these boring people do on a Saturday night? Tip fucking cows? Apparently, Ohio boasts about having America's first traffic light. I mean, this is the level of fucking pride people live with in Ohio? Who the fuck brags about a traffic light? Let's come up with a better name for Ohio. Fucking anything would work. I'm calling it Weewa from now on. And the capital is now Blackville. You get to make your mark somewhere, sir. Well, thanks for that, Dana. Thanks for naming the capital of Ohio, or Weewa, after me. Well, Hang On Sloopy is who named it? You're right. That's their official rock song. Whew, that's brutal. And as were you. Well done, Dana. Well done. Thanks to all of you for listening to my Rantcast. If you have a rant you want to get off your chest, send it in to me at lewisblack.com/live. You can think of it as therapy, or whatever you want to think of it as. Just let it rip. And I want to thank the true stars of our show, the ranters, and the splendid rants they gave us. Lewis Black's Rantcast was created and hosted by me, Lewis Black. It is produced by James Salkind. Our theme song by Chris Lane. Executive producer, Ben Brewer. Executive producers, Matt Kleinschmidt and Robert Kelly for the Laugh Button Podcast. And most of all, thank you, all of you who ranted so well on this show.